Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And if you haven't entered my giveaway for my Grand Theft Auto 5 brand new copy for any console, even the next gens, please do so. There'll be a link in the description for you guys to enter. And the only thing you have to do is leave a comment of anything you want. And if you want to subscribe, that would be even better, because then you can find out if you won. If you want to invite one of your friends, make sure they leave your name inside their comment so you have a double entry. Yes, a double entry, but let's get back to the video. This is a budget video gaming everything computer. It's gonna be about $360, even though the title says $350. It's because prices fluctuate every time something goes in the industry. Maybe something goes wrong, something changes. Yes, it's $360, I know, but tomorrow it might be $340. So let's just get into the product websites and product information. So the graphics card I picked because we wanted to put more money into the graphics card. Yes, our graphics card is $50 more than any other item on this list because it can run mostly any game you want at a pretty high frame rate. Yes, and if you really wanted to, if you're willing to upgrade your motherboard, or while you're looking at this video, you can change a couple parts to what you need it to be. So you can get a different motherboard which has SLI or Crossfire support, so you can have dual graphics card. So if you wanted to pick up two of these graphics cards, they will run side by side perfectly in a crazy amount of speed and FPS per your games, because the 7790 is a beast of a card. So off to our motherboard, we are only going to be using a ASUS H61M because we're using the socket set 1155 to go with our processor. Yes, it does come with 1600 megahertz RAM to 2200 megahertz RAM. So you can change the memory to whatever kind of clock rate you want. Yes, it only has one PCIe 3.0 slot and only 2 slots for your DIMM of your memory because it only has 16 gigabyte support. I know it's not that much, but most games only take 8 right now. And yes, you will have to change your motherboard if you want to have a second graphics card in there. But if you wanted to do it, you can go onto NCIX and look up under the motherboards under socket 1155. There is a gigabyte one which has up to 32 gigabytes of memory, as well as to 2 graphics card support because it is only $15 more. But because we're on a budget, we're unable to afford it to stay within our price range, even though we went over. Yes, a little bit over, it's okay. So our case does not have a power supply unlike the $300 budget build, but this is a pretty sick case. If I haven't already purchased a case for mine, I probably would have went for this. Like, look at this, it's so sleek and it has a matte finish. It's so orgasmic basically, and as well as the BitFenix. BitFenix makes the best cases you can get around, non-biased or anything. It's just a really nice case all the way around. Like, you can put this into a media center, a video editing center. It does everything you want. That's why I picked it. Because look at the back. You have already a fan included with USB 2.0 as well as audio on the front, right there at the very top, yes. So it is a pretty decent case for $29.99. So I would probably put this into every build I could because of how cheap it was and to save a couple bucks on the builds. And for our memory, I chose G.Skill Ripjaws XF3. They are 4GB, 2GB sticks each. I know I would have went with just a single 4 so you can upgrade it to 8GB later, but because we only have 4GB that we're putting in, I chose to do a dual channel for better performance and FPS ratio. So it is 1600 megahertz, which is a pretty decent clock rate for all games right now, and they come in at $47.99. Regular price is $52.98. So if you buy today, it's a pretty decent price. And because we are on a strict budget, we had to go for a higher power supply at a little bit of a higher rate because our graphics card needs a 500 power supply minimum. So I chose a 600 watt power supply for a little bit of movement in room, so when you want to upgrade something. And yes, there was a 500 watt power supply, but it was modular, but I wanted you guys to have a little bit of movement. So it is a plus 80 bronze certified power supply, so it is EVGA. It is a trustworthy power supply, so if anything goes wrong, you're able to contact them and they'll get you a new one and replace most of your parts that shorted out. And you never want to go with a generic power supply. Even if you're on a budget, I would swear to God that you should not, but if it's all you have, then you should at least go for one of the generic, one that's a name brand. And for our last thing would be our hard drive. It's only 160 gigabytes because we spent a little bit more on our GPU this time and our Intel Celeron processor. I forgot to put that in a web link, but it's just a G1620. You can get it off anywhere. I believe Newegg has it for 47, NCIX has it for 47 too, I believe, but I put it at $49.99. So it's just a generic price I put in there. It is a pretty cheap processor, it's dual core as well as it's okay. But because we're on a budget, I had to get a 160 gigabyte hard drive. I know. It's not that big, but it's enough room to hold you guys off while you guys may get another allowance or another paycheck if you are working. And if you could hold off on the hard drive, please, I just swear, because if we weren't on a budget, I'd probably go for a 500 gigabyte hard drive just so you can get your little bit more programs on there. It's 160 is okay, but 500 for a gaming PC is like the sweet spot because you're able to store a shit ton of games. Yes, a lot, I know. So it's 7,200 RPM, so it's a pretty fast, decent write speed as well as an 8 megabyte cache, so it's pretty decently fast. And the grand total of it all came to $359.94. Counteract a couple dollars because my pricing were a bit wrong, but it's a pretty generic price. So it is a $350 budget build, and this is a pretty beast of a budget build. I'm probably gonna buy most of these components, probably skip the hard drive because I have some laying around my house. I'm probably gonna skip the case because I have a test bench. So I'm probably going to be able to give you guys a benchmark within the next couple weeks on now. It may happen in September because of my paychecks are coming in right now. I might not have enough money, but it will be coming. I'll benchmark this PC so I can show you what kind of performance you can get for the bang for the buck. And yes, I already know that this GPU and CPU will not bottleneck each other. So please do not leave a bad comment saying, oh, the CPU is not powerful enough to power your GPU because then it's going to bottleneck. So just stop. Just not even. Just don't go there. Because it won't. It's the perfect CPU for the budget line of $100 GPU. Yes. Sorry there. Yeah. Well guys, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already at the beginning of the video. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you didn't like it, because I'm probably going to give you something you will like in the future. So yes, that will be everything today. So I will see you guys in